I'm not trying to preach that I'm perfect. I'm trying to show y'all I have been through everything you are going through in your relationships. My castmate from Queer Eye, Anthony, people didn't know that we had an extreme amount of conflict. People say, oh, you dating a white guy, so you all of a sudden have lost part of your blackness. I got introduced to cocaine, and that's when I said, you in danger, girl.
Thank you for coming.
I'm so glad to be here, boo.
We are at Just a Sip with the one Karamo Brown, everybody.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm calling this episode Sex, Drugs, and Maury Povich. Because this book, if you guys have not gotten this book right now, get it and do yourself a favor. Do not just get the book, get the audio book, because you can hear it in his own words. Never have I heard so much heart, so much love, so much pain behind one person telling a story.
A lot of people, when they write memoirs, they say they're going to be open and transparent about everything, but then they don't. And I was open and transparent about every single thing.
No, for sure. I was
like, I'm not hiding anything.
Who was the one person you were scared to read this manuscript?
Nobody. To be honest with you, everyone knows that I live my life 100% honest, 100% open, because that's the only way I feel like other people can grow, is if I'm an example of the growth. And so I let everyone know completely before I was writing this book, I'm writing it, and I would like to include you being a part of my life in this. And if you're okay with it, let me know right now. If you're not, then I'm gonna have to figure out a way to still sell your story, but switch your name.
And there was one subject in there that you decided that you needed to pull back on. Do you regret that?
I didn't talk about my mother being abused in detail because my father used to hit her, because she's still healing. And then with my suicide attempt, I figured I don't need to go into detail about that, because if someone else is reading it, I don't need them to say, oh, this is how I can do it.
Yeah.
I wanted to instead stop at a certain point and then say, if you're having these feelings, or if you know someone with these feelings, here are resources you can use.
You're doing something different than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You're not writing a follow-up book. You're giving people a chance to get this blessing on a podcast.
Yes, I have a podcast that dropped on April 23rd, which I'm really excited. It's a 1-800 number you can call in from around the world and speak directly to me and get advice.
Where can people find this podcast?
It's on luminary.com, and it's amazing because people always hit me up when they watch me on Queer Eye, and they're like, well, I wish I could just talk to you for a second and just get advice, help navigate the relationships that I'm going through and the relationship with myself and my mom. And I was like, well, why don't I just create it so that you can call me directly? You know, you don't have to go on Queer Eye or go for the show. You can just call me. So I'm really excited about my first episode, because it's with my castmate. And that episode is really, really special because the episode's about conflict. So people get to call in, talk about conflict. And then my castmate from Queer Eye, Anthony, people didn't know that we had an extreme amount of conflict. We did not talk to each other at all during season 1, even though we were shooting together.
You were in interviews and you were doing press and you were saying, oh my God, we love each other. All 5 of us are so, dandy, we're brothers. You and Anthony started out as Kim and Chloe. Y'all had some heat.
On camera, it was about the person and about creating something successful. And so that was genuine. But off camera, the minute that camera stopped rolling, girl, don't come near me.
Ooh.
It was, and vice versa. He didn't want me to come near him. We always, before we would go on camera, would say to each other, this is not about us. It's about this person. And so we always had a clear intention of, like, when we're walking through, it's about helping them. And so that was big for us, because a lot of people can't separate their personal issues with the job they're doing. And he and I never had that issue.
But how did the beef start?
So you're going to have to listen to the podcast for that. I can't tell you that
But
part.
it started before you guys went on camera.
It started before we went on camera. Our personalities got along, but then a third party got involved. And once that third party got involved, he and I couldn't even talk to each other because we were too busy hearing rumors of what this third party was spreading about both of us, that we was like,
someone in the house.
Someone in-house. Once we realized that there was a third toxic party messing with us and we were able to reconcile, it took us literally maybe an hour to have a conversation to reconcile our relationship. And we were like, why did we just go through all those months of BS? And it was because we had a third party that was over there whispering in both of our ears.
Playing with the egos.
Playing with the egos. And then by the time we started doing press, because we shot the show and then there was a couple of months off and then we had come back, we had already reconciled. This is the thing, and this is why I talk about this book on this podcast. I try to show people that I'm not trying to preach that I'm perfect. I'm trying to show y'all I have been through everything you are going through in your relationships.
Was there something that happened while you were writing where you thought you were over something and you had worked through something, but then writing this book, you almost had to reactivate it and reconfront it?
The one thing I would say that kind of triggered me a little bit was when I got to the colorism chapter, because I talked about how my skin tone, my grandmother used to say to me, don't darken up her family anymore, which, you know, she comes from a certain time where to be lighter meant that you could attain more success. And so I get these comments because I'm engaged to a white man.
Yeah.
Like people say, oh, you dating a white guy, so you all of a sudden have lost part of your blackness. And I'm like, when I walk out in the world, people don't see me with a white man. They see a black man.
Yeah.
And when the police stop me, they don't say, oh, you're dating a white guy?
We'll let you go.
We'll let you go.
You're good.
You're good.
Yeah.
Go have a kiki somewhere and a drink. No, they say you still a black man. And that's what gets on my nerves. And so when I was writing that, I realized that there are still issues with my color that, you know, it's a different form of colorism, but there's parts of it that still bother me.
Because it's in a race.
This what really gets me. People somehow think that he put me on. I'm like, let me tell y'all something.
Let me back you up a little bit.
Let me back you up real quick, okay?
Yeah.
My man is successful, but my man had no hand in giving me the career, the success, the money in my bank account. And it bothers me when we go out and people assume my career is somehow because of something he's done.
Yeah.
I'm like, have y'all lost your mind?
Meanwhile, he's like a doctor somewhere else. And like,
Don't worry about him. You're not worried about this. You know what I'm saying?
Don't come from Mr. Calhoun.
Exactly.
Look, I can barely find a man, and I don't even have 2 cats.
You like to date men that are not in your vicinity, but we're not going to go there because I'm always trying to figure out what is happening. Why? Is there a fear of commitment there? What is going on?
When you're on TV and people know you're on TV,
Yes.
There's 2 things that happen. One, they automatically think that you are solely the person that they see on TV.
Yes.
The second thing is, I feel like people are always looking out for what they can get out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fear of mine.
I'm a big believer that when we make fear-based decisions and not love-based decisions, we're limiting ourselves. So I would challenge you to think about the fact that you're making a decision out of fear and not out of love. Love for yourself and out of love for the future you know you're destined to have.
Bitch, this is just a sip, not just a sofa. I'm not on your couch in your office. Okay,
Just
you can't
tell you.
psychoanalyze me and make me cry on my own show.
Just tell you, boo.
This is my show.
I'm going to tell you, I don't miss whole summers at all.
Because you lived your best life.
And we had porn.
Yes.
So like anytime I want to have a whole summer, I promise you, all you have to do is spend 5 minutes on the internet, and then I feel like I feel like I cheated, but I didn't. I literally could have a full-on blown relationship with somebody from the internet, meaning like a porn star,
and never meet
them.
My
mind, and never meet them.
And never meet them.
There's a comfort of like I don't ever have to worry about him doing anything to disrespect the future we're building together.
I would hate to be married to you.
Would you?
Because you know what? To get in a fight with you would mean that we would have to go down a road and you would have to psychoanalyze it. And then you would bring it back to my childhood. Like, do you do that in your relationship?
I did it last night while walking the dog. I swear to God, I should call Ian right now. We were walking the dog and I said, what is your fear of the future? And we went down this road and we got halfway to the house and I was like, well, we're almost there. And he was like, you just finish this off because I'm done with this conversation.
Damn.
I was like, I will. I'll figure it out.
Meanwhile, you're like, no, we're just having a short talk. Your dog is dragging behind you. It's like out of breath. It can't walk no more. How do you, but it's true. You fix people for a living.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Yes.
How do you not bring that into your relationship?
You do. That's why I'm in a healthy relationship. That's why he's engaged. Okay. That ring cute, right?
And how long have you guys been together?
8 years, going on 9.
How do you keep it hot 8 years in?
Communication. And that's key. People are afraid to say, listen, when we first met, I liked this position, but now it is 10 years later, and maybe I like this. Let me tell you something. There's no way that you could be watching porn and your body change, and you don't have new communications about what you like in the bedroom.
You think porn is healthy?
I do think porn is healthy. Why not? I think, first of all, these are trained actors who are doing stunts and shows. You better learn something from them, okay? You better learn something from them, all right? Don't try everything at home. Like, there should be warnings like that, but, like, try some stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie. I took out a trick one time. I was like, I'm gonna just try this. What I saw, I was like, do
Okay, do it real
and
quick.
he was like, I love you. Let's get a Birkin. I'm
Okay,
like,
I was like, yes, it works. Yes.
It
I'm telling
works.
you, it works. I advocate for porn. But porn with communication.
you're a fine ass chocolate man.
Thank you.
You're
You too.
tall.
You too.
You're well spoken.
You too.
You got this aura about you. I know there are dudes in your DMs time and time again.
Constantly.
I would be clicking on the blurred pictures.
I'd click on the photo.
Oh, you will still see the photo.
You send me a photo, I'm gonna look at it.
Okay.
Let me tell people out there, PSA, there is such thing as an ugly penis.
Yes.
So please stop sending your penis if it's ugly. Exactly. No male or female wants to see your ugly penis.
Like this. It'd be looking at you like this.
Like that. Nobody wants to see that. You need to get with your tribe and say, is my penis ugly before you send any more dick pics? Is all I want you to know. So yes, they send them. And yes, I'll look. Do I respond? No, I do not. Do I also let my partner know I looked? Yes, I do. Do we have a kiki together about what was just sent to me? Yes, we do. And that's the way you keep the honesty and keep it honest and open, because I'm not hiding from you.
Well, let's remind people where you started.
Yes.
Because Real World Philadelphia was everything.
Yes.
You were the first Black openly gay man on television. What was that experience like?
Reality television.
Reality television.
Because Mother Rue, Father Rue, was the first.
First.
Let's be very real. I was on The Real World in 2004, 2005. Why in the hell has there never been an openly gay Black man cast before me?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
For sure.
Because we have been around. Let me tell you something. I go to Atlanta, I go to Chicago, I go to New York, I go to Texas, I go to Tennessee, and Black gay men are around, thriving, doing the most amazing, setting culture, setting trends. Yet I was the first. So it kind of disappointed me, because I was like, there should have been 20 before me, 30 before me. But then on the same rate, I was like, well, I'm glad that I could kick open the door so that now there could be more people. And then I'm going to continue to kick open that door. And also I'm going to continue that every other brother that is gay, I'm going to say, come up with me. Let's do this together. Let me applaud you. Let me celebrate you. Let's do this.
We don't do that very often.
You know what? Many don't, but many do. You do, I do. And I think it's important that we encourage those who are on their journey to loving themselves and to loving others, to know that we support them and that they'll get there.
When you go on TV and you live your life like that, and then the reality stops and you're back in your real reality.
Yes.
I guess, what was the backlash? Because, with my family, it's like, you can be gay, you can be you, we support you, but the minute you put it out there, it's a little bit harder.
I had family members who immediately were turned off from speaking to me. My father and I, we already had a rocky relationship because he couldn't reconcile our relationship with his religion. And so because he believed his God was teaching him that somehow I was not perfectly designed and not made in his eyes, he figured, I can't talk to you. But then on top of that, me putting it out on television embarrassed him. But then on the flip side, which I tried to do, was focus on all the people who love me. Like, I was just showered with so much love. I'd be getting letters and letters and letters from people saying, oh my gosh, I love you, you're amazing. But I'm not gonna lie, I took a dark path quickly because I felt like I lost myself, because trying to battle the family and the good of here, trying to be something more at the age of 23 was a lot.
My favorite line in this whole book, I found it, is when you said, Molly, you in danger, girl.
Okay.
I'm going to let you explain it to them, because it was one of the most profound things that I've read.
My father, being a Rastafarian and Jamaican, used weed. He recreationally, and so it was always in my house.
He had a basketball size.
Oh yeah, he did.
Dunk.
He he had the one by his bed, but he also had like a basketball in the freezer. Yeah, so I'm just in there picking it like this, just picking away, and so it was easy for me to access it, but I didn't like the downer feeling of it. So then I started Molly and ecstasy. And that was cute for like the first couple of times. I was like, yes, I feel like someone would rub up on me. And I was like, yes, we are living. Ooh. And then as I would have to take 2-3 pills to have that same feeling, I was like, ugh, you're sweaty, you're gross, it ain't cute. And then I got introduced to cocaine. And that's when I said, you in danger, girl.
And how old were you when you got introduced to that drug?
25.
And who was the bitch that brought it to you? Because at this point, let's remind people, when you go read this book, he is now on you're on the press tour, you're in the club appearances.
You're
doing
all
living
this.
Your best life as Karamo
from
the Real World.
Yes.
And you started out on this journey, you're 6'3", you in between 193 and 210 pounds, and you get introduced to cocaine.
Yes.
What's that first feeling like?
Amazing. I felt so good because my personality is I'm naturally hyper excited. I have a bit of OCD. I'm also type A. So it's like it amplified who I loved being anyway.
You were partying, you were
Partying,
organizing people.
I'm organizing people's stuff. My life is organized. I'm just like, why do I have so much energy? Why is everything so good? Oh my gosh! Like let's get this book done. Let's also help this.
Oh, she's working for the federal government.
Thank you.
At
I
this
could
point.
do everything. I could do everything. Like seriously, it was, and this is what I say in the book. I'm not glorifying cocaine at all, because reason I said you endanger girls, because when you meet yourself, you're introduced to a drug that meets your personality, that you love, that starts to make you feel good about who you are. It's a problem, because now I don't want to lose that person.
Yeah.
And so even though there was extreme highs, there was extreme lows, because I'd be doing it for a good 3-4 days. And then like, once I stopped, I'd wake up and I'd feel depressed. I'd be like, why do I feel like I want to jump out this bridge? Why do I feel so sad? What's going on? And it was because I was doing so much, and I was just having these extreme highs and extreme lows, and it was hard.
And when did you decide that you're going to turn this shit around?
Because
4 years is a long time, bitch. And
Yeah.
you were 6'3", 178 pounds, is what I read.
When I was done?
When you were done.
Oh my gosh, I was so skinny. I started seeing my cheekbones. I'm like, in the mirror, like,
Meanwhile, you're looking like Halle Berry in Jungle Fever.
in Jungle Fever. Just a mess. A mess. A mess.
And what was that turning point?
It was because when I became a father.
Okay,
When I became a father.
you're doing club appearances, you're partying, you're in gay relationships, you're having sex, you're living the best single life that you thought you were living. And all of a sudden, a girlfriend calls you from the past and says, yo, you have a 10-year-old son.
I came home and there was a stack of papers on my doorstep for back child support. So you walk, okay? So you walk up and it's on your doorstep.
And there goes the Maury Povich.
Okay, and there goes the Maury Povich part of it. And so when I see the paperwork, I'm like, I have not seen a vagina since 1995. There is no way that there is a child for me. So this has to be a practical joke.
And this child was now 10 years old.
Yeah. We were 15 at the time. She was my best friend. And she moved away. I moved away because my parents got divorced. And I never thought of her ever again, because after that point, we had sex. It lasted 3 minutes. And I said, I don't want to do this again. I'm comfortable with never doing this again. Like, whatever that is, I think someone else will enjoy it, but I'm thoroughly sure that I do not enjoy that.
And that's the point you knew that you were gay.
I knew before, but that was the little stamp of approval and confirmation I needed. And so she moved away. So I thought, like, there's no possible way. There's no possible way. So when I saw the stack of papers and I started to look through them, and I saw her name and I saw my son's name and I saw my name, I was like, this is a really elaborate joke and it's not funny. And then had to go on this journey to go confirm paternity. First of all, they wouldn't give me her information. I had to confirm paternity. I had to fly back to Texas. And once paternity was confirmed, literally the woman behind the desk, this is the Maury. She was like, next, you are the father, the information in there. And I was like, ma'am, can I, she was like, little boy, the information's in there. Get out my face. And I was like, okay.
Can I get some counseling?
I know something. Can I get some help?
You're like, hello.
Anything. And so she didn't have a phone in there. So I showed up on her doorstep. And dun, 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 she opened the door and had no idea that I was going to be showing up.
She just thought she was getting a check.
She was applying for welfare benefits for her other children, and the state found me. So she had no intention of coming after me. Yeah.
This is kind of serendipitous, though, that she was going to live her life with her kids and never tell you. How happy are you that the state kind of came for your ass?
Okay.
Like, literally came for you.
We're both very happy, because she needed the support and I needed to step up and do what was right. Having children allowed me to get back on the path, but it was one of those things where, you know, we were kids at the time, so neither of us had the tools to know how to handle it. It happened exactly how it needed to happen, because truth be told, I might not be sitting here if we would have been that ghetto love story of us co-parenting at 15 years old, because I might not have been comfortable to let people into my life regarding my sexuality. I might have never been able to finish high school or graduate, because she didn't get to finish high school. I might not have been able to go to college. I might not have been able to travel the world. I would have never applied for Real World. None of this stuff could have possibly happened, because I would have been worried about how do I raise a child and take care of my baby mama.
Yeah.
But because I had the opportunity, I then took custody so that she could begin to have her life.
And you also did something else,
Mm-hmm.
which I commend you, because I don't even know if I'm claiming my own motherfucking children at this point. But He has a younger brother
Yes.
who was from a different father,
Yes.
and you stepped up to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
What was that conversation like with yourself?
So at the point where I decided that I wanted to take in my youngest son was because I had already dealt with me. I was healthy, happy, good. I had money. There was a place. And I was like, oh, I can do this. And so the youngest came in and it was supposed to be like, okay, we'll do this for 3 weeks. 3 weeks turned into a month turned to six turned to a year. And then all of a sudden he one day came in and was like, hey, Dad, can I go skateboard? And I was like, Dad? Oh, I got 2 children.
Yeah.
And that was it.
You have been touched by an angel. Della Reese touched your ass because I don't know who you are. I'm like, am I talking to you or Iyama at this point? Because you are fixing my life. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of this.
But thank you for all of this as well.
But by the way, we are monkeys in a barrel because now we sisters. And,
For life.
And Celie, when Nettie
Me and you was never part. Maki da da.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Like what you saw? Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss any new episodes of Just a Sip, and you can catch up on any past episodes. The tea was hot, I'm telling you.